I'll show you something. Okay. We just stopped over.
Is this a slide?
This is just a couple moments.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 330 to Go High School Football Show. I am Mike Vorhies. With me is not Matt McGaw. Matt is on a personal holiday vacation. Well, I don't know what we're going to call it. A holiday. We're not from overseas. He is not here today, but have no fear. You don't get to stare at me for the next however long we go. I have a very special guest. This special guest is a Grey Cup champion. He is a two-time first-team All-SEC. He's 2002 Sports Illustrated CNN All-American, 2002 AFCA All-American Good Works Team, 2000 Rivals.com All-American. Ladies and gentlemen, former head football coach of the Canton McKinley Bulldogs and a very, very good friend of mine. He's from Kentucky. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Antonio Hall. I did my research, Antonio. What's up, buddy? How are you, sir?
Nothing, man. How are you?
I'm good. Did you like your intro? I mean, Wikipedia, did you good, man? I like it.
I did. You know, I think they oversold me, but hey, it's
Oversold. Cool. Well, I appreciate you taking time to join us today. I appreciate it. I know you're busy doing what are you doing today? What's on the coach's schedule for today?
Well, today I have a bunch of meetings. You know, right now I'm in charge of student development and community partnerships for the Canton City School District. And so that's always a busy task. And then also getting ready for tonight's call. So never a dull moment.
Never a dull moment because Coach Antonio Hall now works for Q92 Sports as well. You can catch him tonight with Ryan Keller. They'll be calling the Jackson Perry football game. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. Coach, we're going to get the ticker going on the bottom. Let's run through some of these scores. And obviously, with you being a coach, I want to see if any of these kind of stick out. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
We'll start with Northwest. Northwest took down Canton South 24-14. Woodridge takes down Ravenna 28-21. Streetsboro defeats Springfield 49-7. Norton defeats Field a lot to a little. I'm not going to read that score. You can see it on the ticker below. Cloverleaf defeats Coventry 19-0. CVCA. Do you know much about CVCA? With this show, we cover a lot of the 330. We have a lot of fans dialed in to the CVCA Royals.
And they got it rocking right now over at CVCA.
Another win for them. They take Boardman down 42-10. I know Tim, by the way, before we get any further, I got to shout out Tim Nichols. He sat in for me last week. Tim, phenomenal job as always. I will say one thing to you, sir. Do not undersell CVCA. Please don't. They are very, very good.
No.
You know they're good. You don't need to be humble. They're very good. They have seemed to roll through most of their opponents. I know tonight they've got a big test, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. The Manchester Panthers fall to Kentson 24-17. Federal League matchup. Lake defeats Glen Oak. Now, Coach, obviously you were in the Federal League for quite some time. Was there a game when you were looking at your schedule where you circle it? You're like, this is the one I want? Or was it all the games were like that?
I think it depended on the year, but the Federal League, you know, they're very tricky because every couple of years, you know, whether it's a Glen Oak or a Jackson or a Lake, you know, they'll have a team to where they had a bunch of seniors that have been playing since sophomores. They'll have, you know, some good size. And so I remember one year Lake was ranked, I think, first or second in the state, undefeated, going into week 7 when we played them. So that was a huge game. One year Jackson, they were 8 or 9-0 going into week 9 when we played them. And so each year it seemed like a different Federal League team was just at the helm, and that was the team to beat. So But the thing about the Federal League is you can't walk in sleeping any week because you will get beat. And so you have to take every game very seriously because league play and the coaches and players in that league, they're always up to snuff.
Absolutely. I mean, there is no such thing as an easy game in the Federal League, I've noticed, because even when a team may have 1 or 2 wins, it doesn't matter. When the 2 Federal League opponents lock up, records mean absolutely nothing. We've seen it before where a team may have more wins, but then they go in and get their butts kicked because they were kind of overlooking the opponent.
Exactly. And everybody has McKinley circled on their schedule, so we get everybody's best. So it's always a game in the Federal League.
I love it. Lake takes down Glen Oak 35-21 in another exciting game. I feel really bad. Obviously, I went to Green. The Bulldogs fall to Jackson 38-35. They seem to have been in every game they've played this year, but they seem to fall short every week.
Yeah, if you take their 4 losses, I think it was like 17 points combined in those 4 losses.
Yeah.
And a lot of those were within 3 to 4 points. And so they're right there. They just haven't figured it out to get over that hump yet. It kind of reminds me of us, and I think 2022 when we started out 0-4, and it was just one thing here or one player there or one call there. And then we got to figure it out week 5 actually against Green, and we went on the tear and ended up winning about 6 in a row and went deep in the playoffs. Lost to a tough Menor team, but Lake kind of reminds me of that team. They're right there. They just have to get over that hump. I mean,
Green's young.
Green's right there. They
yeah,
get over the hump.
Green is young. Yeah. Jay Wilhelm and I had a game with Green. They played Hoover. Hoover held on last second, obviously. They're young, but they're very good. Their defense is very solid. Yes. The offense is good. They've had some injuries, obviously. It's football. But I think Green is right there, and you could be right. 2022, I remember that McKinley team going 0-4, and then you guys flipped a switch and just started running roughshod through people. So sometimes that's what it takes. So who knows? It could be this week. Green plays Canton McKinley, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Back to the scores. Kent Roosevelt defeats Cuyahoga Falls 56-0. Nordonia over Solon 48-14. Aurora takes out Revere 14-0. Tallmadge gets a 1-point win over Barberton 21-20. Walsh Jesuit, who has a huge game tonight against Hoban, they take down Kinesis of New York. You know anything about this Kinesis team?
I really don't know anything about Kinesis. I know there's been a couple teams from the area that's played them the past few years, but I don't know much about them.
They're supposed to be really, really good. So that must mean Walsh is even better if they beat them 38-0. So I'm just saying. Not saying, I'm just saying. Anyway, Hoban takes down Brush 45-7. Antonio went black. He'll join us back shortly. Villa Angela St. Joseph 37. St. Vincent St. Mary 7. Harrison Central 41, North 8. Garfield 20, Carrollton 0, Mayfield 50. So they bounce back after losing to Jackson, take out Firestone 50-8. Mogadore, an exciting win over Ellett 21-18. Austintown Fitch continues to roll 54-6 over Akron Buchtel. Hudson 35, Stowe 0. Highland 42, Copley 9. Wadsworth 39, Twinsburg nothing. That was supposed to be a big game, and it looks like Wadsworth is unbelievable yet again this year. East takes out University School 28-6 in a game that I covered with Q92 Sports last week. Hoover takes down Louisville 31-13 in a battle of the undefeateds. It was a phenomenal game. Hoover lost their starting quarterback, John Collins, early in that game. It looked to be an ankle injury. So it was Jack Andes, who has now been nicknamed the Jack of all trades. And I think that is a phenomenal nickname for Hoover. And Jack Andes led the team. He played quarterback. He played running back. He played wide receiver. This kid does it all for Hoover. Coach, welcome back. Technical issues are always fun, right? It's just how it happens sometimes.
Love them. But yeah,
we're talking about Hoover and Louisville. That huge game.
Huge game. I mean, Hoover's going to be without their quarterback probably. So, that's going to be a huge blow. I was talking to their offensive coordinator, and they have a couple couple wrinkles and things we're going to try to do to offset, not having their number one guy in there. But like you said, Andy's, I mean, that guy's their Swiss Army knife. And I'm very impressed with his speed. I mean, I think he ran like a 4.38 at Ohio State camp this year. Great skill set. He's a baseball guy, so, can track the ball, has great hands, high points the ball. He's a very impressive athlete to watch.
Yeah, I mean, and one of our fans has nicknamed him the Jack of all trades. I think that's phenomenal. Had a chance to talk to him post game, and he is one of the most humble kids I have ever met. He didn't want to take the accolades. He wanted to pass them off to everybody else, the offensive line, the receivers for blocking. Like he's so humble, and I love it. Like you can't teach that.
Right.
At least I don't think so.
Well, you to a certain degree you can, but a lot of it is instinctual, and people like that are often the most successful because they never feel that they've arrived, or they never feel satisfied in what they've accomplished, because they appreciate everyone around them and they play for everyone around them. And as a coach, I mean, that's the kind of locker room you want. You want guys who are, not self-gratifying. You want guys who believe in, self-sacrifice and self-abnegation. And he's one of those guys, it sounds like. And if that attitude permeates, look out for that North Canton locker room.
Hoover, their offensive line, their defensive line looked to dominate that football game. Louisville not able to really get things going. They lose one of their running backs. Owen Wilson went down with an injury. He tried to play in the second half after he touched the ball one time that you could tell it just wasn't there. And he ended up re-injuring himself and then leaving the game. Louisville just couldn't get anything done offensively. So yes, this Hoover Viking team is for real. Cannot wait to see what they do once they get some of these big Federal League opponents that are going to come knocking at the door.
Yeah, and to your point, it's done in the trenches. And the year that we lost to North Canton is because they had that dominant defensive line. We were down a couple offensive linemen, and it showed. And even last year, when we went to overtime and beat them in overtime, we were down a couple linemen up front. We couldn't match up with their size across the board. And it took us a while to be able to get back in that football game. So they tend to have a strong tradition, both in that offense and defensive line in North Canton, and they do a great job coaching those kids up.
They do, absolutely. In a game that you called with Ryan Keller for Q92 Sports, McKinley took down Perry 28-18. Thoughts on that game real quick, Coach?
Yeah. I mean, at times, Perry looked good offensively, but for the most part, McKinley's defensive will was imposed. That the center of that defense, the defensive line, the inside linebackers, they didn't let Shepard get going early like we've seen in past games. For the most part, except for a couple big runs in the third and fourth quarter, they were able to bottle Lemon up. They had good coverage, and Perry really didn't pass the ball all that much, which I think confined them offensively, because they were bringing guys into the box with extra fullbacks or H's or tight ends, and that was just bringing more McKinley defenders in the box. And so once Perry was able to get guys out in the perimeter, start dinking and dunking to Foster and Wilson, you saw that offense get going a little bit, but by that time they were down 2 touchdowns. And if you give this talented McKinley offense a cushion like that, it's going to be hard to get back in the game.
I'll tell you what,
Highland
Coach
West
Renzi.
Go ahead.
Coach Renzi Parnell seems to he has instilled some of that Hoban, like that Hoban intelligence into that McKinley offense, and they look really good.
They're balanced. At halftime last week, they had 26 plays. 13 of them were passes. 13 of them were runs. So they're extremely balanced. Their quarterback, his pocket presence continues to impress me. I think the biggest surprise is how well Highland West is running the ball, only being a sophomore, but he looks like a senior. He's very physical. He runs behind his pads. He has really good vision, really good patience. and that offensive line continues to improve every week. And so I think sky's the limit for how good this McKinley offense and this McKinley team can be this year.
That's awesome. I can't wait. Again, they've got a battle tonight with Green, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Some are going to call this an upset. I don't think it was an upset. Massillon takes down the heavy favored St. Ed's team 21-14. I can't say that I didn't see this coming. I mean, yes, St. Ed's was undefeated going into this game, but you can never count out Massillon inside Paul Brown Tiger Stadium. Coach Moore always has those guys ready to go. I would run through a brick wall for most of our coaches in the area. Coach Moore's another one where he could tell me something and I would automatically get fired up. So I have a feeling there may have been some bulletin board material with St. Ed's and Massillon. And it just proves that Massillon is playing such a difficult schedule, but yet it doesn't affect them. They keep winning.
Exactly. And you see their comfort level increase every week with their new schemes, having a new offensive coordinator, a new defensive coordinator. And right around week 4, week 5 is when you really want to see the players take ownership in the schemes and really be comfortable in all of the calls and the adjustments that they have to make. But hats off to Coach Moore. I mean, 4 years in a row, they've knocked off, I won't say knocked off, but they beat St. Ed's. And that's very impressive. And I know there's a lot of people who are critics here in Stark County for a lot of different reasons for Coach Moore, but this guy gets his guys ready to play. He's very even-keeled temperamentally. He's very focused. His demeanor is one of always to compete, and you see that permeate in his team.
Yeah, just phenomenal job. Obviously, they're young. We know they're young, but yet if you can knock off that, I think St. Ed's was the number 1 ranked team in Division I, Region 1, and we'll talk about those computer rankings that are all so very important. The OHSAA released their first computer rankings of the season. We'll get to that here shortly. Let's run through the rest of these scores. The Alliance Aviators, folks, another win for them, 42-7 over Canton Central Catholic. Alliance looking pretty good, Coach.
They are, and they have a lot of weapons. I mean, a lot of weapons. Running back is averaging 105 yards a game. Their top receiver is averaging 85 yards a game. Jackson, I think he's already has 1,500 all-purpose yards this year. So they have a lot of weapons. The defense looks solid, but I think this one this week is going to be a old-fashioned shootout. It might be like a 53-51 ball game because both these teams can score points this week.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Triway takes down Tuslaw 21-14. Orville takes down Fairless 48-35. Love that. Minerva takes down St. Thomas Aquinas 31-0. The Zach Slate's run continues. 4 wins in a row now for Minerva. Can we say they're back?
How can you not? I mean, they haven't had 4 wins since 2010. So the fact that Zach comes in immediately establishes his culture, his expectations, his wing T offense, and the kids are bought in. The community is bought in. They'll probably have a statue built for him here by the end of the season.
Wow, I love it. Love Coach Slates and what he's doing for Minerva. They got a test tonight against West Branch. West Branch takes down Highland 48-7. Ridgewood gives East Canton their first loss of the season. Ridgewood, a very good football team, 35-0.
Very good football team.
East Canton, look out. Coach John Spider Miller, legend. We're going to try to get him on the show at some point. I know I keep teasing it. It's going to happen. He's phenomenal. I met him at the coach's dinner before the season started. He was probably one of the most even keel, nicest guys I have ever talked to.
Coach Spider and me go back to my 8th grade year. He was our DB's coach at McKinley, then became our defensive coordinator. He was our strength coach when I was at McKinley. So I got to spend a lot of time with Coach Miller. And let me tell you this, he's not as even keeled as you think.
Hey, around media, coaches tend to act a little differently sometimes, I think. So you might know. I know Jay had some things to say about him too. He knows Coach Miller really well too, and I love it. Again, we're going to try to get him on the show soon enough, I promise. Malvern takes down Tusky Valley 14-13. Strasburg takes down Sandy Valley 42-7, and Marlington takes down Warren JFK 45-40. Coach, those are my scores, and I'm sticking to it. Anything jump out at you reading through those scores?
Well, I'm impressed with Marlington's win last week because JFK has a tremendous quarterback. He's a guy that he looks to run first. If his first read isn't open, he's taking off, and all he needs is a crease. And so I know it was a high-scoring game, but Marlington was able to do enough defensively to get the win. And Marlington's program, I mean, this year they have a few wins. They're looking a lot better on both sides of the ball. I was surprised of how high of a score that Orville Fairless game was. I know Fairless, they can score a lot of points, but their defense has looked pretty solid this whole year. And they have a big one this week against Triway. Triway's 4-1. So that kind of surprised me. But I think the biggest surprise for me and a lot of people was just how low of a scoring game that Massillon game was, given the fact that a few weeks ago they gave up 50 points against a very good football team, almost on the caliber of a St. Ed's. And then Massillon turns around a couple weeks later and shuts down the top team in the state and only gives up 14.
Yeah, it just goes to show you that defense wins championships, right? They've said it.
Without a doubt.
Doesn't matter whether it's JV, whether it's high school, whether it's college, it's pros. Defense wins championships. We're going to jump now into the Ohio High School Athletic Association. They released their computer points for the first time this season, and there are some interesting little nuggets, Coach. I don't know if you had a chance to look at it. We'll jump right in to Division I, Region 1. Mentor leads the way. Obviously, Lakewood St. Ed's loses to Massillon, so Lakewood St. Ed's moves to 2. The Canton McKinley Bulldogs right there at number 4. Massillon Jackson at number 8. Medina at number 9. Let's see, Canton Glen Oak at 13. Obviously, a reminder for those folks, it's no longer 16 teams that get into the playoffs. It's now 12. Anything in Region 1, Coach, that sticks out to you?
I'm really impressed with this Strongsville team, honestly. Having played them a couple years ago in the playoffs, looking down the field, you saw just a lot of big individuals. I mean, these guys were long. A lot of them had like thick legs, thick hips. I mean, you could tell they've been in a squat rack, and you could tell that they had something to work with there. Like, it wasn't a lights out season for them a couple years ago, but you could see that they had some pieces to work with. They had a couple phenomenal athletes, a good quarterback. And so seeing where Strongsville sits now, I'm really impressed and a little surprised, but then again, not really seeing what I saw a couple years ago, keeping that development going, keeping those guys maturing in the weight room. They look solid.
Absolutely. We know that Mentor is a very strong team as well, a team that a little bit too well with your tenure at McKinley. Seems like you guys played every year. Coach Fox has that team ready. They're not Coach Fox. No, Scotty Fox was their quarterback. Why did I just draw a blank on Coach Gray?
Yeah.
It took me a minute. Coach Gray. Great guy to talk to. So it'll be great to look at this Region 1. So right now, Cleveland St. Ignatius would be that 12th team. Iggy gets in by mere points. So the games are now more important than ever, obviously, for these top 12 teams. We're going to skip regions 2, 3, and 4 because they don't matter to us. That's more south of our 330. Division 2, Region 5, Coach. Matt and I have said that this might be the toughest division and region that we have. Uniontown Lake in the number 1 spot, Nordonia number 2, Walsh, number 3. Hoban, number 4. Hudson, 5. Twinsburg tied for that 5th spot. Austintown, Fitch, 7. Garfield Heights, Painesville Riverside, another very good team. East Lake North, Willoughby South, and then Euclid, Kenmore Garfield right there as well. I love it, Coach. This one, to me, obviously, with tonight, Walsh takes on Hoban. There's going to be some moving.
Huge game.
Each game from here on out. Anything stick out there? Obviously, Lake being we got to shout out the Federal League.
Got to. Lake has been there before. A couple of years ago they were ranked number 1, up until maybe about 7 or 8, week 7 or 8. I think what stands out to me is Hoban's number 4, and how good Twinsburg is looking this year. A lot of respect for Coach Salter, what he's doing out there. For them to be 4-1 right now, very impressive, and just look to see how they continue to progress this season.
Absolutely. That one is going to be a fun region to watch. Into Region 6, Medina Highland at 1, Wadsworth at 2, Avon at 3. Let's see, any other teams that pop out. Brecksview, Broadview Heights is 10th. And that seems to be the schools that I know that are in our region. I struggle with this sometimes. You don't realize how broad the 3-3-0 to go spectrum goes. There have been many years where we have mistakenly left a few teams off the list. Into Region 7. There are a lot. In Region 7, Canal Winchester number 1, Ashland 2, Louisville up to 3, Hoover 4. This doesn't make sense to me, Coach. Hoover defeated Louisville. So how come Louisville has a higher?
Right.
Is it strength of schedule?
Yeah, it's okay. Based on who you beat and who those teams have beat.
Okay, see, there you go. So
yeah.
I had somebody message me and ask us that on the 330 to go high school football group page. Somebody wanted to know that, and there you go, straight from the lips of a former football coach. He knows what he's talking about. I'll put faith in what he is saying. Let's see, Washington, Massillon. I don't know why they say Massillon, Washington. It's Massillon, folks. They're sitting at 9th, so they would be in. And I think that's it for our area. Region 8 is nothing. No, I'm not saying it's nothing, but it's not a team. We don't have any teams there. Division 3, Region 9. Canfield sits number 1. Cuyahoga Valley Christian Academy, also known as CVCA, they're sitting 2. Alliance is 6th. Chardon 7. Akron East tied for 8th. And let's see. Kent Roosevelt 15th. So a lot of good teams in Region 9. I guess I'd forgotten how powerful Region 9 could be.
Yeah, especially with Canfield and CVCA leading the way. Both of those teams look lights out this year. A lot of good football in the 3-3-0.
Absolutely. I love it. Region 10, a team we have not said a word about this year, and I took some grief on it. Medina Buckeye, the Buckeye Bucks, sitting at 5-0. They're in the number 1 spot, and we have not said word one. So Matt and I and the 330 to go high school football show would like to eat some crow. The Buckeye the Buckeye Bucks 5-0 guys. We're sorry. I'm sorry. We'll do better. I promise. We'll make sure we talk about them enough. Parma Heights Holy Name sits 3rd, Revere 4th. Let's see, Rocky River 6th. Copley is 9th. And those are the closest that I know. Region 11, no. Region 12, no. There's so many divisions and regions. Have I said that already? This is crazy.
There's a lot.
There is absolutely a lot. Division 4, Region 13, you got Menor Lake Catholic, Cleveland, Glenville, Perry. That's not the Perry that we know. That's the Perry up north by the lake.
Yep.
I get them confused every year. Streetsboro is there tied for 2nd. Northwest is there at 6. Norton 7. West Branch is 9th. Alliance Marlington is 13th. Salem right there at 12. Peninsula Woodridge at 14. So again, a lot of good teams right there. Let's see. Region 15, Millersburg, West Holmes. We heard about it a few years ago when we left them off our playoff list. They're in Region 15, sitting in third place. Indian Valley, Hutton. They're in sixth, a very, very good team there. Minerva at 12, they would be in. All right, let's see. Into Division 5, Region 17, Poland Seminary. Canfield South Range sitting at fourth. Claymont in fifth. Garrettsville Garfield there at eighth. Akron Manchester ninth. And Navarre Fairless 14th. Massillon Tuslaw 16th. So a little bit of work to do, but the point differential, Coach, doesn't seem to be that big. So obviously wins are going to help you. Losses will not help you. That's pretty easy, right?
Definitely.
All right, running through the rest of these very, very quick. Division 6, Region 21, the Smithville Smithies sitting at third. They're 5-0. Dalton, or I'm sorry, I just did it. Oh, my Moon Man, I can't believe I did it. It's Dalton. It is pronounced Dalton, and I'm sorry, they're 8th. Rootstown at 10th. Dalton, yeah, you gotta say it with like some inflection there. They don't like when you mispronounce their town, and I get it. I absolutely get it.
You gotta have that hard W in there, Dalton.
Exactly. Sugar Creek Garraway sitting at 11th, Rittman 12th. And let's see. I think we're running out here. We're gonna Mogadore sitting in Division 7, Region 25. They're 4th, Malvern 5th, East Canton 8th. I'm reading these really fast, so hopefully I don't miss somebody. I'm sure I will. It's guaranteed to happen. If I do, just drop it in the comments and I'll apologize. Region 27, Hillsdale sitting number 1, Strasburg 2. People forget Strasburg is still in the 330. Danville at 12. Let's see. Maria Stein, good grief. They're up there every single year. I don't know what they're doing. What's in the water down there at Marion Local? Coach, do we know? Good grief.
Man, iron.
There's got to be something. I mean, unbelievable. I'm trying to breeze through these anymore. I don't think so. So obviously, computer points are going to matter now with the top 12 teams making it into the playoffs. That will be fun. Right now, let's jump into our Week 5 Pick'em recap. Matt, he's not here, so thankfully his head doesn't get any bigger because I know he's going to rub this in. He is now 22-3 on the season. I am sitting at 20-5, and the fans are 19-6. I'm there, but I got to make up ground. I keep losing ground, and this week too, I don't. His picks have been made secret. I don't know what his. It was like the Golden Globes and the Emmys, where the envelope was sealed. It was handed to the producer. So I know nothing of these picks. Usually I can read Matt like a book, but this year he's running away with it. Up 2 games. So Matt and I both go 4-1. The fans go 3-2. Let's recap these. So Massillon defeats St. Ed's. Everybody took St. Ed's across the board. So we all took a loss there. Wadsworth over Twinsburg. Fans and Matt and myself all took Wadsworth. Hoover and McKinley. I did that game with Q92 Sports. I said that I would take the team that Tim chose, but I'm going to ask for a review because I would have selected Hoover had I been forced to make a decision, but he chose Louisville. So I think I'm going to be man enough here to take the loss. It's okay. McKinley took down Perry. The fans chose Perry. Matt and I both took McKinley. And then Orville takes down Fairless. Everyone chose Orville. So there you go. That's where we're at right now. And Coach, we're going to put you in the hot seat here. So we've got our Week 6 pick'ems. I know there is one game in particular that you must remain Switzerland neutral because you're going to call it tonight with Ryan Keller and Q92 Sports. That being 3-2 Perry at 3-2 Jackson, but we'll get to that really quick. Obviously, the big one that everybody's talking about that's going to be in Akron tonight, 5-0 Walsh takes on 4-1 Hoban. The fans have selected Hoban. Coach, where would you go here?
I got to go with Hoban, man.
He's going to take Hoban. We know that Matt has some ties to Walsh. I am going to stick with Coach Hall and the fans. I'm taking Hoban. And Matt has selected
Walsh, Hoban. Walsh is still annoyed from last year when they got knocked out of the playoffs by the Knights. Tonight, the Knights are hosting them. Everyone's thinking Hoban's ran this series for the last couple of years. Walsh did pick up a win in season last year, and I think Walsh picks up another one tonight, taking the Warriors.
Oh my goodness, Matt has taken Walsh. I love this. In the car, mind you. He's telling us what's going on. I love it. So Matt takes Walsh. So there is a difference in picks right there. You got to love it. Matt's in the car making these picks. I love it. He's off for a work venture this week, and he's always working. Next up on the list, 4-0 Norton at 4-1 Streetsboro. The fans have taken Streetsboro. We know that Norton is one game short. They obviously week 1 against Northwest, their game was canceled. Fans take Streetsboro. I don't know. Do I pick against Norton? I see every time I do this, I get stung.
I'm gonna go with Norton.
Coach Hall's gonna take Norton. I know the fans took Streetsboro. Streetsboro's one loss came from a very difficult Alliance team. Does Norton have enough? They did defeat Field last week, a lot to a little. I don't know if Streetsboro's that same elite team that they've been in the past. I'm going to stick with 224, and I'm going to take the Norton Panthers. And let's say Matt's going to go with
Streetsboro, Norton. Everyone's telling me that this is the conference championship tonight. Streetsboro was highly touted coming into the season with their running game, and whether or not Norton's going to be able to keep up, I don't think that's the case. I think Norton's pretty much displayed they can put up some big-time numbers. Trey Kirsten's running the helm over there at QB. I'm taking the Panthers, knocking out Streetsboro.
Well, there you go. Matt jumps on the Norton train as well. A big one down here in Akron as well. 1-4 Ellet takes on 3-2 Akron East. The fans have selected Akron East. I have seen Akron East play. They look really, really good. They gave Canton South more than they could handle. Coach, I'm going to take the Dragons of Akron East. How about you?
Same. I love Coach Hayes. I love what he does with his program. Love what he does with his kids. I'm taking Coach Hayes.
All right. And let's see. I'm going to bet Matt follows suit, but he could throw me a curveball. Matt, what say you?
City Series making some noise tonight. Them Orange Men and the East Dragons taking on one another. Which way does this go? Coach Sachs over there at Ellet is a great coach. I just think there's a little bit more talent sitting over at East. So I'm going to take the Dragons on this one.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Now, just for the record, 330 to go does not allow you to text and drive. So hopefully he's being safe when he's doing all of this. Matt, you can tell me all about it next week. I appreciate you doing work as always. Coach, I know I'm not going to ask you this one. 3-2 Perry at 3-2 Jackson. Now, for the fans, this was the closest vote I have ever seen between these two teams. And I think it was a 1 vote difference for the fans took Jackson.
Wow. Okay.
So I am going to say, I don't know what I'm going to do here. I'm going to go with the fans. I think Jackson is going to take this one. Matt, what do you say?
Perry, Jackson, another big game tonight in the Federal. Jackson wins a shootout last week with Green. Perry loses to McKinley, who I think is going to run away with the Federal, in my opinion. But that's not what we're talking about right here. We're talking about, can Perry get back on their winning ways against Jackson? I think Jackson's just starting to catch their stride. I'm taking the Polar Bears.
Matt and I agree there. Coach Hall, I know you've got to step aside. You've got work to do aside from this. So before we go to our last game, I want to tell you thank you for filling in this week. I appreciate you. You and Ryan, good luck tonight with this exact game. Enjoy the rest of your day, sir. You know how much I love and appreciate you. We appreciate you hanging out with us today.
Same here. I'm going to text you who I think is going to win, and then next week you can say if I was right.
Deal. Agreed. 100%. I will
All
hold
right.
you to that. We will let the fans know. Coach, we appreciate you. Coach Antonio Hall stepping in, filling in for Matt this week. He's got to go back to school, guys. There's things he has to do, so he's going to disappear. I will finish things solo here. Next pick'em game, 4-1 Hudson against 4-1 Twinsburg. This could be a very good game. The fans take Hudson. I am going to follow suit and take Hudson too. I just think Hudson has a little bit too much firepower for the Tigers of Twinsburg. Okay, Matt, here we go. Last one. What do you got?
Twinsburg, Hudson getting after it as well. Both sitting at 4-1. Twinsburg was sitting undefeated last week. Dropped one there. This is the rough part of the schedule where everyone's been questioning what's going to go on with them. Tonight, I think they run into the Explorers, and they're going to drop another one. So put that down for 2 in a row for Streetsboro, and I'm taking Hudson.
Well, there you go, Matt chiming in once again. Thank you, Matt McGaw, for filling in and making sure that we have your game picks. I love the way you did it. Maybe we're on to something here. Maybe we can start doing something on the road. We'll see. A couple of honorable mention games tonight for those that are interested. 4-1 West Branch travels to 4-1 Minerva. That should be a very good game. I think West Branch might end the winning streak for Minerva. Don't hold me to that, but I just think West Branch has some power. I don't know if Minerva is ready for that. Voted in by the fans as some honorable mention. 3-2 Brecksville at 5-0 Wadsworth. Give me the Grizzlies. 5-0. They are rolling. I will continue to choose them until they prove me wrong. Wadsworth will get that W. A big one down at Tom Benson tonight. 1-4 Green at 4-1 McKinley. McKinley has owned Green. They have not lost to Green since Green entered the Federal League. I think that remains true again tonight. I say McKinley gets the W. I would have loved to have asked Coach Hall what he thought. I'm pretty sure he was going to pick the Battle of the Bulldogs tonight. He would have taken Canton McKinley, I'm sure. And then another one down in Hillsdale, 5-0 Smithville and 5-0 Hillsdale. Two very, very good teams. I think this may be the closest game we have all season right here in Jeromesville, which is just south of Ashland. Give me Hillsdale in a very, very close game, but Smithville still a phenomenal season. One loss is not going to derail them at all. They're going to keep it going. Again, folks, tonight, when you wait for the post, you'll see it. It's the footballs. We've got this now down to a T. We love you guys. Continue to chime in. When we throw this score up, list the scores, list the games that you're at. If you've got pictures, send us pictures. If you've got videos, that's what we want. We want to see where you're at. We live vicariously through you. There it is right there. The 4 footballs. Love the stadium lights in the background. Look for that post. Also, facebook.com/groups/330 to go. High school football show, guys. If you haven't joined, what are you doing? We've now been doing this for how many years? Join us. Come see what all the fun and what we do every single week. We love covering high school football in the 330. Next week, Matt will be back. I will be here with Matt as well. We cannot wait. Be safe. I am not covering a game tonight for Q92 Sports. My son and I are going to take a little trip. We're going to do a little camping trip. He's 11 years old. It's time that I play dad a little bit. And so football is going to take a backseat tonight, but I will check my phone probably on Sunday when I return just to see what happened tonight in high school football. Once again, be safe, stay safe, be kind, everyone. We love you. Thanks for joining the 330 to go high school football show, and we will see you next week.
Oh.